And a very good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Issues and Attitudes. My name is Jeff Owens, General Manager at WEIU. Today we're going to be talking about all things Charleston Chamber. Joining us from the Charleston Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Doug Abolt. Doug, welcome.
Good morning, Jeff.
Good to see you again. And for the first time, Lydia Livingston.
Good day.
And Lydia is on the Charleston Chamber Board.
On the Chamber Board.
She's pushing the shop local thing and also a local business owner.
Yes. I also own the Corner Spot Indoor Flea Market with my husband.
There you go. So both of you, thanks for being here on this not too bad a day, on this Monday. So I guess since we haven't talked to you in a little while, Doug, maybe just give us an overview of what's been happening at the Charleston Chamber of Commerce.
Well, a lot's been happening. We're working multiple fronts, including the shop local with Lydia. So several initiatives, but a lot of the planning went around our annual dinner. We had 285 people registered for it, and about 265 showed up. Big fun. We had Governor Jim Edgar was the keynote speaker, and our theme was the Derby. It was amazing. I guess Rance Higgins over at First Mig mentioned, he said, I'd never seen a theme take off so much, of so many hats and bow ties, and we even borrowed the horse from the Cinderella play and had Jimmy Peterlish riding in, which was a big kickoff to the start of the event.
Yeah, I saw that picture. That was a classic picture. That's cool.
So after finishing that, we're kind of turning our attention to the farmers market, which I know you know, Jeff, that it's going to move to the square this year from 18th Street. And we're excited about that. It really fitting more with the Chamber's mission of drawing the community into one place, and one place where there's a business environment. And we have a lot more room, plenty of parking, bathroom accessibility, entertainment's being lined up. So I have big plans to make the farmers market the place to be on Saturday morning.
Okay, and when will that begin?
That is June 3rd.
Okay.
It will begin. So every Saturday morning from there. Now, when you start off, as depending where the tomatoes are at on the thing. So, but there'll be craft things and make it at home, do it yourself things, activities. Lydia is going to do face painting in front of her shop for the kids, and we're having some entertainment near the courthouse steps, and the stores are going to be open early, so should be a fun time.
Okay, that begins June 3rd. We may talk more about that as we go. Now, Lydia, your big thing is the shop local, and you got all kinds of, you got hats. You gave me a hat, and Doug's got a hat. We've got brochures. So talk about your passion for shop local.
So, of course, I have a business here on the square, and, our opening the business was kind of accidental. We didn't really plan it. But since having it open, we love Charleston. We love the square. My husband and I met on the square, so it's just a special place in our heart. I know, it's wonderful. And we lived there for the last 5 years, before moving off of the square. And so just the town itself, as you're a business owner and you're developing a family in the town, you just want to see it grow. When I was a kid, too, the square was like popping. I remember parades like all the time. My grandma worked at CTF. There was always an event going on there. Stores were opened all around, and not just there, Lincoln too. There was something going on everywhere. And we have seen in the last 10 years there was quite a break in that. We had a lot of empty stores on the square, and which just broke my heart. But in the last 5, we've seen a resurgence of businesses on the square, and I think downtowns are really popular, and we're seeing some businesses that have been sitting empty on Lincoln pending right now, and seeing some change and some good turnover there. So I'm excited to see what's coming for our town. I often tell people that I expect our town to really blossom in the next several years, and I'm just glad that I can be a part of that. And one big part of that is creating a better relationship between the businesses and the residents of the town. With having our store for about 4 years now, we still have people come in that say they didn't know that our store existed. They didn't even know about other stores that existed, and that happens. But we'd like to see a change in that. We want people to know all about the small businesses that are local and trying to be a big part of the community. And without the residents of the town to kind of get on board, we won't see those businesses stay, and that's when we see that emptiness, and we don't we don't want that.
Yeah. And you said you opened your business a few years ago. What other businesses have kind of opened on the square that people may not know about?
Oh goodness, Plush Boutique. They were on the square. Hattie Mae Designs, Castle and Cottage. Those are like home decor boutiques. The butcher shop is open. Ryan Stranger owns that, as well as the barber shop. There's Juanito's is going in there soon.
Lola Vita.
Lola Viola.
Lola Viola.
Which is a gourmet kitchen store. I mean, just Access Line. I mean, the list really goes on. We've seen quite a few. And there were several that were there already. Jackson Avenue. Next to it is Bunches of Treasures. Gina Bunch runs that. T&J Mud Hut, which is across from us. They're moving to... Oh goodness, I forgot the name of it already. But it's near Jackson Avenue, and so we are seeing more happening on the square, and it's so great.
Are you guys working together as businesses to try to if they know an event's coming up, everybody has a little bit of input and ideas?
So that was the main reason for starting the shop local. Now I wasn't with the chamber when it was first started. Courtney Plush, who was Courtney Conlon, who owned Plush, she was the original head of it, but she was just busy, so I got the offer, and so I took it. So I work with several other initiatives. David Halsey at Castle and Cottage in Lola Viola, he runs the Charleston area retailers, and then the Charleston Can is working on a shopping and dining right now as well. And so whatever we can do with other businesses, of course, we're getting on board. We're talking to everyone. I mean, we have to be a cohesive group in order for these things to get going. And not every idea is perfect. Not every idea can be done, but we can't do it without the other businesses being involved. And
Doug, from the chamber's standpoint, you guys are a big. This is a part of what you do over there, but how vital is it for Shop Local to continue to work?
It's vital on the overall economy and just the vitality of the Charleston community. I like to say about Shop Local that we're not trying to put Amazon out of business here in Charleston, Illinois, and people are still going to shop Amazon, but let's raise the awareness of what's here in Charleston and what they have uniquely to fill the customers' needs. So it's about raising that awareness and also keeping, one of our taglines was keep your dollars where your heart is. And our heart, as you know, is in Charleston and Mattoon and Coles County, and helping that to make a thriving area. And that's one of the main strategic objectives and in our mission statement of the Charleston Chamber.
Hey, Lydia, I want to talk to you a little bit about being a small business owner here in Charleston. What are the biggest challenges? I mean, you talked about letting people find out about your business as being one, but when you run a small business, how can you talk about that?
I'd say that really, the biggest issue that we have as a small business is the occasional shoplifting. That's probably the worst thing there. Well, on the square, of course, the courthouse is right there. So I can't speak for really Lincoln, but I know that in our area, sometimes people will come to court and then come to our stores and other stores and do kind of a hit and run thing. So I think that's the another issue. And I'm not for theft at all in any way. I mean, I think there's no reason for it when there's other options, and we've got several charities around, as well as churches. So I'm not for it. But it really feels, I think the most frustrating thing is it's like, come on, we're a small business like you. Oftentimes, as a small business owner, we are, at the end of the month, sometimes we're just getting our bills paid. There are times when there's not much profit or any at all, especially over the winter. And so, we definitely need the support of the town to care about us and to see us as, not some capitalist, greedy individual, but as people who just have to pay their bills too, and who want to provide a service and enjoy what they're doing as well. So that's one of the biggest.
Okay. One of the things that both of you can answer on this one is it's tough to change people's buying habits. If they're used to going to Champaign or Terre Haute or Springfield or even the bigger cities, we're kind of lucky here because we can go to Indy, Chicago, and St. Louis in a day trip. How do you change people's buying habits to think more local before they head out of town?
I think it goes back to that raising awareness and helping, a lot of the small businesses, they don't have huge advertising budgets to raise awareness. And so breaking through there, and there's a lot of messages and advertising messages that hit. So the word of mouth, encouraging the groups that we have in Charleston and in Coles County to work together to make sure we coordinate the advertising that benefits the local economy. And by keeping our dollars here, that certainly helps everything as far as roads, bridges, facilities, paying the city's bills, etc. So making sure we break through and explain the benefits, but also to, again, publicize where some of these businesses are at, and whether it's shopping local, dining local, or playing local at the bowling alley or wherever it may be.
Yeah.
There's also entertainment options that sometimes we aren't aware of as much. It always amazes to me. So, I didn't know this was down here. I didn't know this was here. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
Anything you want to add, Lydia?
And I agree with Doug on that. I would say as well, well, I lost my thought. I had it while you were talking. I was well.
Yeah, I'm sure it was profound.
It was not
Well,
profound.
you made me think of that, and I had nothing against Amazon or Walmart, but what's that? There's a meme out there that says, do you ever see Walmart sponsoring the Little League teams? Does Amazon ever sponsor? It's always the local businesses that sponsor Little League or the YMCA leagues or whatever, and so.
Well, that's at the annual dinner. Deeple's just won Business of the Year because they donate so much to almost every event. And, I have written here, local businesses across the nation donate 250% more than, big businesses. I mean, we can count on those big businesses, sometimes, but, the little businesses, they care more. They want to be a part of it. And, one of the things about my own shop is that if somebody comes in and they're asking if we could help with a fundraiser or something, we're doing it. If we can afford to do it, we're going to do it because this is our town and we are the people and we want to grow. We want to see everything grow and benefit. And so I think that's where that comes from with small businesses. But the problem is a small local business can't do that unless they're having some sort of profit. And it does hurt sometimes when somebody comes in and they say, can I get help with this? And you have to say, well, unfortunately, this time I don't have the ability to do so, and that's not a good feeling, and I don't like that. I don't like to tell people no.
I understand. There's nothing wrong with that. I was going to talk a little bit about your annual awards. I know Ron Deeples, the Deeples Chevrolet, won the Business of the Award, but there's a couple other ones you want to talk about.
Well, the Citizen of the Year was Chastity Parker, also known as Chaz Parker, and she's just a tremendous volunteer. Very active in the community, very active at CCAR and in the Kiwanis Club, and she's just been a great volunteer, and it really works hard at supporting the Charleston area, but does it also smartly, and she has a lot of good ideas and keeps things straight, and has been a valuable volunteer on our diplomat team at the chamber, as well as she essentially by herself restarted the Kiwanis Club. So took on the presidents of the Kiwanis Club when no one else would. So and they're just doing great things and growing now.
There you go. So was there other awards, or I was trying to think. It's been a while. So
we had Diplomat of the Year was Chelsea Lawrence, who has the Get It Gone, and she's a prime example of the power of networking. We have our business after hours events, and they've essentially been at every one and introduced their business and have leveraged that to grow and really get a lot of exposure. Now they're adding employees and buying new equipment and getting it gone.
Very well
Absolutely.
said. How can businesses get involved, maybe they don't know, to get involved to help the local community? Is there an easy way? Come to the chamber. Do you have ideas for them that you can lay out? Do they have to be a member of the chamber to get involved?
No, you don't have to be a member of the chamber to get involved. You might be asked to join just by the person doing the asking, but that's not essential, and we're working with everybody, including on the Shop Local. There's businesses on our guide of shopping local that aren't members of the chamber. It's not required to be a member. Mm-hmm. Get involved. There's all kinds of committees that need help, and the Shop Local Committee is one of them. That Lydia is building that committee. You got some ideas, some of them crazy, especially for an old guy like me. You know, geocaching. You know, that's something that's come up, and you know, I think I know how to spell geo, but not caching.
It's not that extra E at the end.
It's a thing. Figuring that one out has been, I'll admit, it's been a struggle for me even. But yeah, the Shop Local. If I could speak on the Shop Local being broad, you know, it's through the chamber. It's a chamber initiative, so to speak, but our goal is to reach every small business. If you're a local small business and you want to be a part of the Shop Local, absolutely join. We want to help you. We want to grow the business, you know, because again, you can't really join the chamber if you're not, you know, profiting, and if nobody knows where you are. And so that's one thing, you know, as much as I'm trying to help Doug out here, but the Shop Local is, in my goal for it is just broader than any one thing. We want to reach out to Charleston is our focus right now, but we're getting ready to work on a directory like those that I gave you for Oakland, Ashmore, and Kansas all together. Chelsea's going to help me with that from Get It Gone, because we don't, from what I understand, when I was doing the research at the beginning of Shop Local, if you want to have a very strong initiative, if you want it to really take over, you can't just focus on shopping like in your set town, because people have to be able to go out of that space. And there are other towns that can help yours. You know, it's that networking that's important. And if we don't see development in places like Oakland and Ashmore and Kansas too, you know, or Mattoon, you know, they're around us. People they'll be like, well, Charleston, what's around Charleston? But you know, we don't want that. We want them to be like, well, Charleston has, and Mattoon is there, and Oakland's there, and there are all of these things going into these different places. And so that's one of the things that we're working on, is reaching the broader scale of businesses in about the 30-mile radius of Charleston. And we want to do that because we know that if we can bring light to all of these local businesses, people won't have to. And again, we're not saying don't, but people won't have to go, so to speak, to Amazon or, you know, to Shein or those big companies that are just kind of taking over.
A couple of questions on that. How do you define the small business? What defines it? It's to be involved in Shop Local.
Well, small business by Illinois standards is any business with less than 500 employees. So that's
so
a lot. That's
Eastern
really
and
broad.
Sarah Bush.
that's really broad. But our focus are on usually like mom and pops, and I mean, I never really put a number to it, but
I think those that are locally owned, locally headquartered.
Locally owned, locally headquartered, and just. You know, that kind of resident here, that aren't necessarily way over yonder.
That have some kind of local tie to the community, maybe.
And one thing I'd add on the raising awareness, you might have seen some of the signs around town. And that was just part of that strategy to raise awareness of shopping local, benefits of keeping the dollars here and the places that are here. But also now we're moving to the yard sale. You want to explain that?
So those are actually really fun. I got the idea because my husband, he's a bit older than me, and he said that back in his day, the realty companies used to offer people to use yard sale signs, you know, and I guess that's where we're taking money from Walmart, because what we're offering is for people to use these signs for completely free. So far I've been putting them out, but if they want to come get them and fill them out and put them, you know, in their yard or just on their street, they can do that and then just bring it back. And on the sign it has our little Shop Local logo, and the whole point is to again bridge that gap between residents and business owners, and also show that shopping local goes as low as going to yard sales, you know, and really helping those people of the town. Isn't he so cute? I'm just saying. And those signs are so great. They're really well to see, although green marker was a very bad idea. I'll admit that. We use the black marker now. But I think, not this last weekend, but the weekend before last, we had, I believe, like 7 signs out all over town from 4 or 5 different yard sales that were going on. And then anybody who comes and gets a yard sale sign, or lets me know that they're having yard sale, I will put them out. I don't mind. But we've also been posting on our Shop Local CACC Facebook page, and it's got a lot of hits so far. I mean, the page just the likes have gone up. Our followers have gone up because people love to yard sale. And again, it's the smallest thing you can do is shopping local, and with getting the logo in people's yards, you know, they'll be like, yeah, this is a really good idea. This is what we're supposed to do, is support each other. You know, the chamber, the Shop Local committee is helping me with this. You know, it's a small thing, but it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it's a good idea. It's a really good idea. Give your husband props for that one, right?
I'll give him a little.
Now, right now in your Shop Local brochure and stuff, you know, how many people are involved? I mean, do you have an idea how many businesses are involved? I'm putting you on the spot with that one, maybe, but
I think that's about 35.
35.
About 35.
And how long is it
we're
taking to
getting
get to
more.
there? Is it relatively a new?
Well, we took back in July of last year, we took everyone, and we just kind of said, we're gonna throw you in this. I hope you don't mind.
Yeah.
Nobody mind. So we just kind of went with it. Several of the businesses, like True Blood Collective, I've been working with them a little bit. Pincy's Bookshop, you know, just a lot of them have been very excited about what's going on with the Shop Local. They have the signs in their business yards. So I mean, it's growing, and like I said, we'll be doing Oakland and Kansas and Ashmore here soon.
Are you going to combine those, or will they all each have their own different? Or
they will probably all be combined in one same pamphlet. Just
makes sense, yeah.
Yeah, just because they don't have as much. I mean, this was a lot to fit on this paper, I'll admit it.
A couple things about Charleston. You know, obviously Charleston's really turned into this biking, hiking, kayaking, you know, with Lake Charleston. But the boutique businesses have really sprung up, it seems like, in the last couple of years. So I guess to mesh those two, it would be something that if people come to Charleston, they can do both things. Is that part of the process that you're working on, Doug?
Yeah, well, it kind of works together with our bike race that's in September, and so that starts off, and we try to include coupons in their swag bag for our local businesses. So, you know, that's about 200 cyclists come to town on that, and their families, along with, you know, just the volunteers, because it takes a lot of volunteers to run that. And so as we work together, there's synergies between events, any event, Tour de Charleston, the annual dinner, the business after hours, along with shopping local.
Okay. Go ahead.
And unlike years past, this most recent Tour de Charleston was kind of like a big festival. There were several businesses that kind of popped up, shops up on the square, and food trucks and things like that. There was live music, and all of the local businesses on the square were open. So I mean, that's a really good mixture, you know, because while people are waiting, you know, for their little kid to come running through or riding through, I guess, you know, they can kind of meander and see what's going on the square.
Yeah, it makes sense. I've noticed that Charleston and Mattoon have done a lot better job with that, of making sure the businesses are open during these kind of, you know, a nighttime or daytime, you know, events. In the past, that didn't always happen, but that's good to see that change. We have about 5 minutes left. We're talking with folks from the Charleston Chamber of Commerce. Any other events that you are putting on or coming up the rest of this year that you want to get the information out there where we have some time?
Well, we will be doing, the Shop Local will be doing a lot this year. We're working on geocaching for this summer.
Why don't you explain real quick what geocaching is?
So
I know a little bit about it. Doug knows less than me.
So I'm actually torn between geocaching and Adventure Lab, which they're like the same kind of app. But geocaching is basically like you fill like a treasure chest. It doesn't have to be a chest, with like little miscellaneous items, and then you hide it somewhere. And our goal with the Shop Local is to kind of like hide it around local stores. Again, this is another idea of my husband, because the building that we're in is really old, and he's like, there's a lot of places we could hide these things. So it'd be kind of a cool idea, and you know, while kids are geocaching, mom and pop could come in and just look at maybe the dresses in one of the boutiques, or you know, just keep themselves busy. I have a family friend of mine who, he's a little young guy, and he's obsessed with geocaching, and so it's just a way of kind of bringing the family into it, because I feel like, and giving children another option of something to do with the town.
Okay. Sorry I interrupted you. Some of your other events, but
That's okay. I'll get back to those.
Hey, go ahead.
Some of our other events, we're planning to be in the 4th of July parade. We're working on maybe a Lincoln March, kind of like a cash mob, but bigger. We'd like to work on cash mobs as well. We will be at the farmers market doing the table with the face painting, and we'll also be passing out these new directory and flyers. I plan to put these at all of the local businesses if I can, and some of the realty offices as well, so we can get them out and so people can know, especially those moving in. My husband and I manage a rental property company, so these come in handy for like our new tenants. We have some come from like California, so it is nice to have. So I mean, we just got a lot going on. Some ideas are still in the works, and some of them are kind of beginning to come to fruition. We're looking at some marketing plans and ideas that we can do with like the school and the students in order to help those small businesses that can't necessarily afford marketing, but maybe a little something for now. So those are some of the plans.
And then, of course, the farmers market is not a one-shot deal. It goes all the way to late September. And so, every Saturday there's an opportunity. There's an event, really, and along with our business after hours that we have that, spread the word about Shop Local and just give small businesses a chance to network.
Okay. Now, how often do you, I guess the different question is, right now for the Chamber of Commerce, are there needs for volunteers, diplomats, board members, or
We can always accept more. It's been growing. There's been a lot of interest, maybe it's coming out of the pandemic of volunteering. I know the service clubs are up. People are joining service clubs, very dynamic, looking for ways to help the community.
That's good. I really think that's happened you could tell the last 6-7 months, people are they're so excited just to see people and get about some of the other events that, you don't have to wear a mask for and everything like that. So a couple of minutes left. Anything else that we forgot that you want to talk about? Or I'll ask unrelated questions to end this and have some fun. So,
okay.
Lydia, Doug?
Unrelated questions. Bring them on.
Yeah,
bring them on, Mike Wallace.
Because they're so tough. All right, we're going to go left to right. We'll go, if you're watching on television, we'll go Lydia, then Doug. All right, your favorite chamber event?
Oh, that's a tear. Ugh. Who? Okay. Oh, the Scare on the Square was an absolute blast last year, but also the annual dinner. It's so hard.
There you go.
Those are my top two.
Doug?
I'd say Tour de Charleston is a favorite. Seeing that subculture. The Scare on the Square was a lot of fun. When you had 75 dogs in the canine costume contest.
Wasn't that your idea, though?
And 3,000 people with 1,500 of them being kids. It was a lawsuit waiting to happen, and it didn't happen.
We made it though.
Favorite pizza topping?
Oh gosh. Green olives, and pepperoncinis.
Sausage.
Morning beverage of choice?
Orange juice.
Coffee.
Favorite Sesame Street character?
Cookie Monster, 100%.
Yeah, Cookie Monster. Not gonna have a different
My
one.
10-month-old loves Cookie Monster.
Well, you're in the right spot for that. Kayaker? Would you kayak or do you kayak?
Oh, I've never kayaked, but now that the lake has them, I'm considering it.
I have kayaked. It's fun.
Okay. Last question. Pet and name real quickly.
Riley and Calvin.
Piper and Polly.
There you go. Lydia, great to meet you.
Thank you.
I wish
Nice
you had
to
some
meet you
energy.
too.
Next time we'll try to do better.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You were great. Doug, good seeing you again, my man.
Good to see you, Jeff.
We are WEIU. Everybody have a great day out there.